your photos, depending on what you're trying to sell, because your SEOs are going to bring those people that are looking for things. When you have a buyer that's looking and they go to type in for the search and they're like, I want an 80s jacket. How many 80s jackets are going to come up, right? So I put in there, you know, every single thing I can possibly think of that somebody's going to be specific on. Streetwear, urban wear, it's going to be vintage, it's going to be, I'm going to even put like, you know, hip-hop, rap. I'm going to make this into also athleisure, athletic wear. I'm going to make it into, I'm going to call it pop something. I'm going to call it retro and vintage, and I'm going to say that it is a varsity jacket, full zip, mock collar, striped, color blocked, and all that. Playboy, I'm going to put every single thing I can possibly think that somebody would type in to look for something specific when there's millions of things out there. So if you can get them up in your just actual title, the thing that you think would bring your person to you the most, put it in your title, because Google can search titles. Google does not search our descriptions, those big long descriptions. That's only an in Poshmark thing. So anyway, be on the lookout for anything that is pimp ass like this, okay? These sell for me so fast. And then you get those repeat buyers. That's a be on the lookout in the vintage world, not for brands necessarily, but that brand's great. All right. So included in the $110 is one pair of shoes that I bought for me. They're really so cute. There were 2 of these and they're brand new. They're older, but nobody's ever worn them. I don't know. Yeah, there you go. And so I am not walking around in heels very much that we are quarantined. However, I do wear them when I'm modeling some clothing. So I thought these were so adorable. They're my size. And I just picked these up. So we're going to take these out of my $110 and make my whole entire purchase so far $100 with tax, because these belong to me. I should have bought the other pair because I bet you they're going to sell and people are going to love them. Okay. So included in that pickup, I find anytime you find a pair of cowboy boots, definitely look at them. Even if you don't know the brand, feel them. If they feel like good cowboy boots, if they look like they've been worn a little bit, you're going to be able to clean them right up. And these happen to be embroidered. I mean, this thing kind of has everything going for it. It's a women's cowboy boot. I picked this up for $10. And honestly, I probably would have picked it up no matter what because of the style, and you can just feel the quality. I happen to be huge on leather, and yes, I just smelled it because really good leather smells really good. So even though you might, this one has not been worn enough to smell like people's feet. However, I hate feet. So this is the brand Sonora, and it says, if I can read it, Sonora double something. I didn't, like I said, didn't even bother to look these up. I knew they were in the area of like Durango and Ariat, and I just knew I'd sell them. So for $10, I got these. When I'm done doing my comps, I will put into this video how much money this is all valued at and what my profit was. And again, I was there for 45 minutes. This was like boom, boom, boom. I could have done so much more. Sometimes you got to stop yourself. And I haven't even gotten to the major stuff yet, guys. Like, okay, this is the reason that I made this video. I would have not have made this video if I did not find it. So my husband was with me, which we haven't gone thrifting together or any garage selling or anything in, you know, probably a year. So he's forcing me through the shoes because that's my place. My place is the shoes. My place is always the shoes. And as he's forcing me through the shoes, he's trying to work one end, and he missed those cowboy boots. But he's trying to work one end, and he's like, what about these? And I'm like, yes, definitely put them in, right? Okay, so you might not know what these are, but let's just tell the story. Put them in. Yes, I'll look them up as I go. I see, and I didn't even look at what he grabbed. I just knew they looked different and expensive, and I know what area of town I was in. And I happened to see these with real snakeskin, and I saw super, and I'm like, oh, maybe that's, I thought maybe I had Supremes. I wasn't sure, but I knew it was something. So I just grabbed these. These got yanked immediately, right? So I found these. He found these. Obviously donated by the same person. What are they? They are Golden Goose Deluxe brand. If you see anything that look like this, okay? If you're not familiar, you better be on the lookout. And if you're ever lucky enough, or myself, to ever find these again, let me see if I can show you. You better snatch them. These were $10 a piece, so even at the chance that they weren't real, I was buying them based on the fact that the comps are like $300-400. My husband says, wow, they look really worn out. You're not going to be able to get any money out of those. He obviously doesn't know anything about trends because he doesn't give two craps. He's into video game sales and vintage toys. They've never been worn, and they are called Golden Goose. This is a Golden Goose shoe from Italy. You can see there, it says GGDB/SS star. These are suede with pink. They have never, ever been worn. However, I thought to myself before I even researched it, I was like, oh, I can clean those up. I mean, just this little bit right here, we can all clean that up. No big deal. And the bottoms have no signs of wear, like literally, and the insides have no signs of wear. So, I mean, they're perfect, except my husband's like, oh, they look like they've been worn out. So I'm like, yeah, whatever. I'm buying them. Sometimes if I'm feeling lucky, okay? So I don't look them up in the store. Then there's these amazing snake skins that I would have grabbed the other pair, I promise you. This was not a matter of I overlooked it. This was a matter of he got there first. And see, then I started thinking to myself, what about like 7 other people or 1 other person who got there before me? Because I was wasting time in the dresses and found a show me or moo-moo. Anyway, same situation. That's the inside, never been worn. Bottoms, never worn. I picked these up. We picked these up for $10 a piece. We weren't planning on thrifting. It was just like, hey, we're going to pick up an appliance over there. Why don't we stop at a store? And boom. So, these shoes are really expensive, and they're made to look worn. They are Golden Goose, and they come from Italy. I got 2 pairs for $20, and so far it appears that I'm going to be able to sell both pairs. I believe on eBay. This is going to be the thing. We're going to try eBay as a lot. My husband believes in the eBay lots. He thinks that we should get a buy it now for $7.95 if we do them together. For people that are collectors, these are highly sought after. If I only had the box in the dust bag. And I'm sure that the Goodwill threw that stuff away because you never see boxes or dust bags. That makes me sick. But anyway, moving on. I digress. So this pair and this pair will be on eBay as a lot for $7.95, and then I'm going to put it on Poshmark because Poshmark actually has higher sales. I mean, you're looking at on Poshmark, like some of these go for, you know, 400 and change a piece, especially being that they're new without tags. They really are. And that's how I'm gonna list them. So if I can, I'm gonna just see who buys it first. My husband claims if we put it on eBay tonight, it'll sell in 12 hours. That's his experience. We shall see. But be on the lookout. Even if they are trashed, which I would never listen to, because the more ugly and the more messy things are, sometimes the more valuable they are. So even if they were trashed, you can still make $100 on them, clean them up. If I would have listened to him and he was like, oh, they look like they're all worn out, you're not gonna be able to get rid of them. I mean, I was blown away. And the other thing that you have to make sure of is the authentication. So these I've already authenticated. First thing I do to authenticate anything that is leather is smell it. I mean, I live in New York. We have a place called Canal Street. I don't know if you're aware, but there is every kind of knockoff around here that you could possibly ever want to find. I found I picked up a $12 Tory Burch boho bag. in a thrift store, and that was my first Tory Burch I ever saw. And I actually listed it, and somebody was like, hey, I think you need to look at that. It might not be real. And that's when I learned how to authenticate myself. So how I authenticate, first of all, number one, if it is leather, smell it. Good leather smells like good leather. Fake leather smells like metal. And you will know right away. Some leather, you don't even have to get it close to your face, because like Fry Boots and Patricia Nash, it just, the whole room smells like that amazing leather. These, though, smell like really good leather. So I was like, okay, they have suede on them. There's no way that I could miss that smell. The other way that you authenticate anything that's like designer high-end, you look at the stitching. I mean, there's plenty. You can look up each brand specific and you can find one thing that'll knock it out for you. But when you're talking about high-end stuff, the stitching is always going to be perfectly symmetrical. I mean, these are high-end brands. You're going to see all of the stitching will be perfect. There will not be a flaw or any kind of a misstitch anywhere. When you're dealing with anything high-end, bags, shoes, it doesn't matter. Even though these are made to look worn, you can tell that the quality, it's a single stitch quality. I can't show you so well on these because they're white, but that's a huge indicator. You know, and then you can get your serial. Sometimes on designer brands they don't have serial numbers. This one does not actually. So I did a couple of video watches to make sure I could authenticate these, and then also Poshmark authenticates blah, 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 things too. And if you